cause I earned it, nigga. Bang. Hey, the beat go off? Hey.
What is going on, family? So we're about to go on a church retreat. We're about to get lit with Jesus. Yes, sir. About to turn up. About to go crazy. Like, oh yeah, we deep. We deep. We too deep. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Family, what's going on? So I'm headed to the buses with my small group. Yes, this weekend about to be crazy. About to have about at least 3 videos for y'all. About to go play some basketball, dodgeball, go on some zip lines, you feel me? It's about to be crazy. We finna be lit. Yeah, let's turn up with Jesus. Let's get it. Alright, y'all, who ready to get lit with Jesus? Let's go!
Jesus Christ! So put on, the armor of God. Jesus Christ! We love you, God! So we do it for God! Jesus Christ! Belt of truth! Jesus Christ!
Yes, sir. About to turn up. About to turn up. About to turn up.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Hey, sir. Bro, I'm so excited for this weekend. Because we're turning up with Jesus all weekend. Making videos all weekend. Nothing but bangers. It's about to be so crazy. You know, we only doing big things. Feel me? Sir. A game with me. Yeah. Yeah, my boy. Yes, sir. What's going on, family? We better walk in. We about to worship. Let's go crazy, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we lit.
Go YouTube.
Yes, sir. Got my boy.
Local reality.
Yes, sir. Let's get it. VR 2020. Let's go.
before I get into the message, my name is Rice Kabandi, and I'm super excited to hang out with you this evening. But I wanna address something that happened in case you are new to church, or you're new to the church environment, or you're new to an experience like this. And so at the end of worship, when we sang that last little part, I don't know if you felt it, but something shifted in the room, right? Like there was like almost like this feeling of like, for some people it felt like peace. For other people it felt like almost like you put a blanket on a cold day, you just get all comfortable. For others, for the first time in a long time, a lot of the questions in your mind seemed to settle for just a second. And there was just this feeling that something was different in the room. And if you don't know what that is, I'm going to help give you a little bit of language for what that is. What happened in that moment is that as humans, we are made of three parts. We're made of spirit, we're made of soul, and we have a body. All right, we're made, so what people see is your body. And so what happened was your soul and your spirit and your body for just a moment became aware of the presence of God. It's not that God isn't everywhere. God is at your school. He's at the parties you go to on Saturday night. He is at football games. He is there when you are arguing with your mom. Like, no, Mom, I'm right. And he's like, no money for you. You know, whatever. God is there. But this evening, in that moment, you became aware of his presence. And my hope for you is that this weekend would be the beginning or the continuation of your awareness of God's presence with you. And that peace that you felt in that moment would not just be something that happens at VR or at summer camps or when you come to IO, but instead it become a regular part of your life. And so that was what happened in those moments, was that you became aware, your spirit, your soul, and your body became aware of the presence of God. And so, now, if you've heard me speak before, you know that I like to do this thing at the beginning of all of my messages. And if you've never heard me speak before, I'm going to show you what I like to do, okay? And it's called 2 claps and a Ric Flair, okay? It's very simple, it's very clean. Come on, I believe in your rhythm. I believe in your ability to clap on time. I believe in your ability to woo on time, okay? So, real quick, let me get 1 clap. That was your neighbor just nudging, okay? I don't need to see who was off, but just nudge your neighbor. Let me get 1 clap. Let me get 1 clap. Let me get 2 claps. Let me get 2 claps. All right. You all sound so good. Tell the person next to you and tell them you sound good. All right. Now, there was a wrestler named Ric Flair, and whenever he would do something amazing, my second favorite basketball player of all time was a man named Kobe Bean Bryant. Love that guy. Loved him since I was 6 years old. Amazing. My favorite basketball player will be here tomorrow night. He's not famous. He's my big brother Kevin, okay? He'll be here tomorrow night, and it'll be a good time. Fun fact number 2, I love to sing, but I'm terrible. Alright, I'm awful, okay? You know how some people, you know how in middle school there's some people that don't know how bad they smell? Imagine that smell was a voice, and that is what my singing voice sounds like, okay? It's like I create notes and octaves and keys, okay? When I sing, I'm amazing at karaoke, okay? I sound amazing in my own mind. If you were to describe what I sound like in my mind, it'd be a combination of Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey when her voice was still working, and Usher when he was actually good. You know, like I am all of those people in one person. But in reality, I am the sound of crying children, cats that have been thrown in water, and the screeching of a dry erase board. It is awful. It is awful. So just pray for my voice, okay? That is one thing that God did not give me. And we're still talking about it. You know, we're still working through it. I can't do it, but I'll sing tomorrow during free time. Number three, I am African. And some of you guys are like, I know, you're black. No. I'm African, okay?
Hi.
Okay.
So what that means is that I come from the continent of Africa. My parents are Congolese, and they speak with an accent, and they make threats that make no sense. Okay, so they make threats that make no sense. And so, every once in a while, my mom will just look at me, even now, as a 28-year-old who pays my own bills, who bought her own car, who takes care of herself. Well, she'll just look at me and be like, I am not your friend. You think I am your friend? I'm like, why are you laughing? How does this end? And so every once in a while, when I was younger, and I started feeling brave, you know what I'm saying? Like every once in a while, you start feeling brave when you're 13, 14 years old. You're like, yo, I don't pay any bills, I don't have any responsibilities, but I'm grown. So my mom would tell me something to do, and I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't clean my room because I'm grown, right? And she'd be like, why didn't you clean your room? I wouldn't say anything. She's like, oh, you think I am your friend? Okay, watch. What I'm going to do is I am going to beat you. but Mom, Susan gets timed outs. Why can't I get timeouts? Whatever, okay, so, and if you try to call the police, I will beat you until they come. And then she would hit me with this. I will go to jail tonight. I will go, but where will you go? I don't know, Mom. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't know. I'm gonna go clean my room now. When I was in middle school, our schools did not allow us to walk around with our cell phones out, even though people tried to, but then they would take your phone away, and all that pick it up as a whole thing. And so the way that we communicated in classes, we'd pass notes. Okay, we'd write on this thing called paper, and we'd use these things called pens, right? And so, that's crazy. So we pass notes back and forth, and so what I used to do is I used to collect all the notes that me and my friends would pass throughout the day, and I kept it in a backpack. And one day, my dad, trying to be a good dad, went into my room and tried to clean it up for me because I'd had a really busy basketball season. Homework had been crazy, so he was like, you know what, I'm gonna take care of my baby girl. I'm gonna go clean her room. I'm gonna take care of her. He goes to my room, cleans it up, and I didn't know this was happening until I came home. And when I came home, the container in which I kept all of my notes was in the living room. And I was like, this don't add up. Because I hid this, but now it is out here. And then my dad looked at me in the eye. So I leaned back. And he's like, hi, son, come here.
Oh, God.
Sit down. Hi, son, what is this? I don't know. Kaisa, do you think I am your friend? What is this? Dad, it's sometimes when I'm in class and I get all my work done and I get A's on tests, I like to tell my friends about all the good things I'm doing in class, and I like to tell them how proud I am to be African and your child. Oh, that is what is written in all of these papers? I don't know. Kaisa, can you read them for me? I haven't read in a long time. So I don't know if reading is the same as it used to be. When I used to read and stuff. Oh, you think I am your friend? I want you to start reading. So as I sat there and shaking, heart racing, I read every vulgar joke I made. And it was like, Lisa, you skipped a word. You know what it starts with. So this mother lover, right? Look at this girl. She looks like a gardening tool. And for the next 40 minutes, I recounted my middle school years. Every once once in a while and I gotta pause. Y'all, I was grounded for so long, I didn't know when it ended. And I was too afraid to ask. Because my fear was that he'd pull the backpack back out and make me read everything again, right? And the only reason I knew it was over is because one day I was like, can I go to the movies? And he was like, yes, go have fun with your friends. I was like, oh, I'm not grounded anymore, okay? It's 2 years later. Anyway, but there's something about writing. There's something about writing things down that freezes a moment in time. There's something about writing that allows you to capture an emotion, a feeling, and that is different than taking a picture. And I'm all about taking pictures. I love taking pictures. I love taking videos. But writing does something where you're able just for a moment to process what is happening, and it almost shifts your perspective on it. And this weekend, something that we're gonna do, something we're gonna add to your toolbox is the ability to write, to process your thoughts and your emotions through the words that you are writing down on pieces of paper. And for some of us, we like to call that journaling. And I know for some people in the room, they're like, journaling seems kind of. But if you think about it, what journaling does is it helps you pause for a moment and process your day. For those of you that are athletes in the room, you understand the importance of mental toughness. If you do not have mental toughness, it's going to affect your performance. And writing allows us to be able to not only identify what we are feeling and what we're experiencing, but it provides us the ability to better overcome those things. And so what we're going to do over the next few moments, we're going to do some journaling together. We're going to do some writing together. And so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a list.
Christ before me, you're always here, never failing through the night, in the shadows, you're by my side. Oh, you're by my side. You're by my side. You're by my side. You're by my side. Ever faithful, ever near. Christ before me, you're always here, never failing through the night, in the shadows, you're by my side. 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 Even when the night seems to hide your face, even when the fire tries to steal your strength, even when the trouble seems to call your name, I will be fine. I will be fine. You're by my side. Even when the night seems to hide your face, and even when the fire tries to steal my strength, and even when the trouble seems to call my name, I will be fine. I will be fine. You're by my side. You're by my side. You're by my side. You're by my side. Stop letting go. I'm not in control. Jesus, you are. Jesus, you are. It's It's time for letting go. I'm not in control. Jesus, you are. Jesus, you are. It's time for letting go. I'm not in control. Jesus, you are. Jesus, you are.
Alright guys, so since we're a family on this channel, I can't even cap to y'all, like, the sermon was so good, like, it had me crying because they were talking about who, like, hurt you in your past and broken, like, relationships with people that you used to be close with, and, like, just got to me. Like, I know it probably would have got to y'all too. Like, it's crazy. Like, just think about who has hurt you in the past and, like, how far you've come from then and how good your life is now. Even though they're out and it seems like you people are, like, missing out on the great things that you're doing in your life, just be happy that you're living your best life, you know. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Good night. What is going on, family? It's day 2. We're about to go eat breakfast, but afterwards we about to hoop and do some crazy stuff, you know. Y'all just gotta tune in and see what we're about to do. All right, guys, I'll catch y'all in about a minute or two. Let's go.
Through the fire, you're always speaking. Just a word has the whole earth shaking. Yes, I got. You said. In a world of hate and vengeance, your words peace and forgiveness. Yes, I got. Over here. Okay. Yes, I got. This accent.
her age. He was in high school. And so these were kids from all over the country, high school. And this one kid, I'll never forget, was this kid from Houston. This one kid, all he talked about all week was girls and sex. That's it. That's all he talked about. Every comment was made. When we would be eating, when we would be in the cafeteria, we would go play sports. And it was just more than usual, right? It was more than just your average high school boy talking about girls and talking about sex. So I pulled him aside and I said, hey man, why you talk about sex so much? Like, why you talk about girls so much? And he kind of looked at me like no one ever answered this question. And he didn't have an answer. And I said, hey, I'm gonna follow up with you and I want you to tell me what you come up with. So later on in the day, I go and find him and I pull him to the side again. I say, hey man, what'd you come up with? And for him, this is what he said. Blew my mind. He said, man, he was the type of kid that girls just liked. Like it was kind of like Isa. He was a handsome guy and it was just easy for him and girls liked him. He said, man, I've always been the dude that girls liked. But if I'm honest, I crave attention. Like I want people to notice me. Specifically, I want my parents to notice me. But my parents, they've been fighting all this time and they've been going through this divorce, so they really don't pay attention to me. And so I would go to school and I would get my attention needs met by these girls. And so that's why I feel that itch. That's why I found satisfaction, because that's where the attention was coming from. But if I'm honest, I really wanted it from my parents. So here was a dude living through his brokenness and he didn't even realize that it was causing him to make decisions that was harmful to him. How many of us do that? How many of us right now in high school are making decisions, living through brokenness because something happened and you never paid attention to how it was affecting you emotionally? When you think about drugs, right? Like, I have family members that started doing drugs, started smoking weed to cloud or to push down their emotions. They wanted to feel numb. The feelings that they were feeling were so deep and so heavy and so big, they would say, yo, I'd rather be high. And what's bugged out about it, like it's funny, but like that led to a drug addiction for this one family member. Like he couldn't turn it off. For him it was, oh, I got feelings, I'm gonna go do this thing. Oh, I feel some type of way. Oh, I feel like a failure. Oh, I feel like I'm not amounting to much. Oh, I feel like people don't like me. And that's what they ran to time and time and time again. And it led to the point where he couldn't turn it off. Y'all, God wants you to be emotionally healthy. And the benefits of it are the relationships around you. When I started going to counseling, you know who benefited the most from it? The people I love the most. My wife got a better husband. My kids got a better father. But it all started with me paying attention to my emotions and what was going on inside of me. I had to stop pushing them down. I had to stop ignoring them. Y'all, it's hard not to live out of your brokenness. But today, I feel like we can take a step forward towards healing. We can take a step forward in the right direction. So this is what we're going to do. We're trying to get y'all into the habit of journaling and putting your thoughts down and exploring how you feel. I want you to get your journals back out. Where he's in front of these pigs, and you got to remember, like, when he left, he was feeling good about himself, right? But in that moment, when he's with those pigs, he's probably feeling lonely. He's probably feeling depressed. He's probably feeling like a failure. So he has all these emotions going on inside of him. And when he says he came to his senses, what he's really saying is that he paid attention to his emotion. It wasn't a wise friend that was like, hey, bro, you know what? You need to chill out. It wasn't like he was reflecting on what happened in the past. He paid attention to his emotion. And what he ended up doing was he was like, you know what? I don't have to be here. I could go back home with my dad. And I can't go back as a son. No, like I done did my dad dirty. I done took his money. But I can at least go back as a servant. There's people who work for my dad that eat way better than what I'm doing right now. So he decides to go home. But the thing that set him on that journey, the thing that turned this story around was him paying attention to how he was feeling. So when we talk about what we do with our emotions, this is something you got to understand. Like, you're all made in the image of God. You're made in the image of God. Now that doesn't mean that God had arms, feet, and a head. But what that does mean is that you're made in the image of God intellectually. You're made in the image of God spiritually. You have a spirit. God is a spirit. You're made in the image of God relationally, right? Like statistics say, like this generation is like one of the most loneliest generations in the world. It's because we were made for connection. We were made for each other. God loves being in relationships. And lastly, you're made in the image of God emotionally. When we look at the Gospels and we look at Jesus' life, Jesus shows all type of emotion, right? Like on both ends of the spectrum. You see Jesus being super happy and super joyful, and you also see Jesus being super sorrowful. Some great sorrow, there we go. You see Jesus weeping. You see Jesus getting super angry and upset, and you see Jesus getting annoyed. Like, it always makes me laugh if you ever read the Gospels. How, like, Jesus' friends will say stuff, and he'll respond like, yo, y'all are so dumb. Like, I don't get this yet. So Jesus even showed that he could get irritated. And so the thing is, your emotions aren't bad. Your emotions come from God, and your emotions are a good thing, right? They're not a bad thing. But I will tell you this, out of control emotions can be harmful. Y'all know these people. Some of you may be these people. You know someone that they're such a hothead. Like the smallest thing sets them off. Is that my phone? Yeah. Nope. Don't even look. Don't even look. Nope. Like, you know people. And people have been telling me like, yo, Tyron, you should go to counseling. I'm like, no, I'm good. And so I end up that day, I end up signing up to go to counseling. So I go to counseling, and I go and talk to the counselor, and all I'm talking about is my family. I tell them about my wife, I tell them about my kids, I tell them about having to deal with sickle cell and how to be a parent that has 2 kids with special needs. And at the end of me talking to my counselor, this is my first session, he looked at me and he said, wow, your spirit has really been broken. Now, I wouldn't have described myself that way. But the moment he said it, it resonated with me. Like, I had to go to a place that made me deal with my emotions. Because what ended up happening was I became less optimistic. Like, normally I'm an optimistic person. Having 2 kids with sickle cell, I'm thinking everything wrong is going to happen. I was a person that never really thought about death. Now I think about it all the time. I was a person who was never anxious. I kind of just went with the flow. But I would find myself being anxious all the time. But I never would have recognized that if I wouldn't have paid attention to my emotions. And here's the scary part, y'all. Something was broken in me, and I didn't realize it. And I think that's true for a lot of us. I think when we don't deal with our emotions, things break in us, and we start living our life, and we don't even know it. So this is what I want us to do. I want us to start diving deeper into what's going on inside of us. I want us to pay attention because, listen, when we pay attention to our emotions, we understand and we become aware of what God is doing around us and in us. And for me, I had to realize that God was doing something in me in my emotions. So this is what we got to do. First, when you start feeling some type of way, you catch yourself feeling some type of way, you got to stop. Say stop. The second thing you got to do is you got to reflect. You got to ask yourself, you got to be like, yo, what's going on? Why am I feeling this way? Like, what is going on right now? What's happening inside of me? And lastly, you got to ask God, what do you want me to do? Because for me, I had to realize, like, when having 2 kids with sickle cell, it broke something in me, and I didn't realize it, but it made me stop trusting God. I didn't make a conscious decision. I didn't say, you know what, God, you abandoned me, like I'm never trusting you again. No, it just happened. And I didn't realize till 5 years later that I had stopped trusting you. And so when I asked God, what do you want me to do? God is like, I need you to trust me. Because you're focused so much on this hurt and on this pain, and you're pushing it down, that you don't see all the other ways in your life that I'm coming through as trustworthy. And what's crazy is, like, this is the thing that's true. You're gonna live out of your brokenness whether you realize it or not. I didn't realize I was becoming a bitter person. I didn't realize I was becoming a person that thought bad things were just always gonna happen. You are gonna live out of your brokenness whether you realize it or not, so you have to start paying attention to what's going on inside of you. Thank you. I'll never forget it.
Hey,
What is good?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
What's going on, family?
Day 2.
Yes, sir. Session 2 went good. There was a good message. You know, they were continuing Luke chapter 15. And, yeah. So we're about to go eat lunch, and then we're about to have some free time. And we're about to go on the zip line. Go crazy. Yes, sir. You begin?
Glory to the tomb. Worthy of every song I could ever sing. Worthy of the air that could ever breathe. Gang going crazy, calling that name on the daily. Hands up high, we praise it. Step to the side, we ain't got no time to be entertaining no hate. Look how the Lord has saved. Watch, now we kicking major flavor. Yeah, I will build my life upon His love.
I'm with my boy JT. Tell him what you finna do.
I'm about to go ziplining, you know?
Oh, that junk scary. We finna go on there.
Yeah,
we gotta go.
Got the drip.
He got the drip on, man.
You know?
Yes, sir. Had to.
Repping the ninth graders.
Let's go. Yeah. What is going on, family? So me and my boy Brad here, we're about to go on the zip line, and we're gonna take y'all with us. It's about to be a crazy moment, experience, and I hope y'all enjoy, because I'm risking the life of my phone, you know? I'm doing it for y'all. All right, family. I'll see y'all up there. All right, family. So we're at the top. About to go down. Yes, sir. I hope y'all are ready. All right, let's get it. All right, family. Third trial. About to get another angle for y'all. Hope y'all ready. Let's get it.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Will. You guys are good to go. 3, 2, 1.
Let go, family. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, boy. Yeah, my boy Brad. Let's get it, man. Let's go. What is good, family? So we just ended session 3. It was so lit. Had me crying and everything. God convicted me. Bro, God changed my life using this man right here, bro. Y'all see this face? This is a face of success. Y'all are going to see him one day, and he's going to help y'all out, change the world. Let's get it. Small group, say what's up. Say what's up with the gang, man. Say what's up. Let's get it, man. We're so lit. Got the lighting is popping. Bro, this video is going crazy. VR went crazy. The Holy Spirit got me acting crazy. Y'all, I was on fire, going off. Man, he took my phone, put it up on stage, showed the whole band with the gang. Man, worship was lit. This is the best day of my life. I don't know if y'all can tell the difference, but I'm a new person. This is a new chapter in my life, and I'm just walking like Jesus. I just want to spread the word every single day, every second I can. So y'all already know what it is. I'm going to put out the best videos, most positive, life-changing videos I can for y'all, and I'm going to just keep on putting out content, you know, because I want y'all to be the best y'all could be. So keep on striving to be the best you could be every single day, and try to do the right thing. Don't try, do the right thing. So y'all just keep on reading the word, go to church. Like, if you don't like the church that your parents make you go to, no cap, just go to a church that's non-denominational, that's lit. I promise you. Come to Buckhead Church. Buckhead Church is lit. I promise you. Like, when I go home, I might not feel like it's home, but at Buckhead Church, I guarantee you, it feels like home. And I'll stay there all day. I'll sleep there. I don't care. Like, and they got good food too, if I did mention. But that's not what is important. You can feel the Holy Spirit every single time you come up in there, and it's just amazing. Like, session 3 had me crying and everything. Like, God convicted me. My life has changed forever. This is the best day of my life, and it can only get better from here on out. So let's get it, family. Let's be the best we can be. Greatness on 3. 1, 2, 3. Greatness. What is going on, family? So, sadly, it's the last day, but it's the best day of all. It's Sunday, and, you know, big things happened. People changed. You know, lives were touched by Jesus. People got closer to him, and they found a relationship with Jesus that they never knew that they had. And so it was an amazing experience that I'll never forget. And I just hope y'all watch more videos so y'all could watch me grow, but also watch yourself grow at the same time. All right, so we're headed to breakfast, but I'll catch y'all afterwards. All right, let's get it.